When it comes to cybersecurity, early detection is no longer a luxury. It is the single most decisive factor in determining whether an organization experiences a short-term disruption or a full-scale disaster. After recovering more than 200 ransomware incidents, we've seen the same pattern play out time and time again. Every incident brings disruption. Systems go offline, services degrade, and backups take time to restore. Now, that level of operational interruption is unavoidable. But when an attacker is allowed to remain undetected, when they're granted time to move laterally, when they're able to escalate privileges and plant persistent mechanisms, then consequences can escalate dramatically. It's here where disruption becomes disaster. A ransomware event where files are rapidly encrypted is damaging, but one where the attacker has been silently present for weeks or months is catastrophic. In long-term dwell attacks, threat actors have mapped the estate, they've identified crown jewel systems, they've located backup repositories, and they've tested their access pathways. By the time the organization realizes something is wrong, it's too late. Backups have been deleted or they've been corrupted, domain controllers have been compromised, and the recovery window stretches from days to many long and expensive weeks. This is the real distinction. Impact is always proportional to dwell time. The longer the intruder is in your network, the more extensive the damage and the more complex the recovery. The question is, how do you prevent a short disruption from becoming a disaster? Well, the answer lies in visibility. You cannot defend what you cannot see. And most organizations underestimate just how blind they are. The errors, anomalies, suspicious authentications, or unusual data transfers often remain unnoticed. Not because the tools don't capture them, but because nobody is actually watching. Logs sit in isolation, alerts go untriaged, and critical indicators of compromise blend into the noise. Effective early detection comes in one of three ways. Firstly, centralized visibility, bringing telemetry together. So identifying events, network traffic, endpoint activity, firewall logs, they can paint a picture, not a single alert, but a pattern of behavior. Secondly, we have intelligent alerting. Alerts should be meaningful and as well as being actionable. They shouldn't be a fire hose of noise that conditions teams to ignore everything. High value anomalies must cut through the clutter. And when they do, there must be a clear process for investigating them further. And third, rapid response. Detection without action is just awareness of a problem that you chose not to solve. The organizations that avoid disaster are the ones that act quickly. They isolate the host, they contain their access, they block the credentials, they verify the backup, and they understand the attacker's path before they're able to pivot further. The difference between a few days of controlled downtime and weeks of total operational paralysis is measured in minutes. How quickly you detect and how decisively you can respond. Our experience across hundreds of incidents is clear. You can't eliminate disruption totally, but you can absolutely prevent the disaster. With the right visibility, tuned alerting, and proactive mindset, organizations can stop attackers before they take root. Early detection is not optional. It's the only thing standing between inconvenience and a catastrophe.